Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my loving. Holding on to words that you said back in the beginning. All along, they stay in my head. I'm feeling you shifting. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my say you'll be here when your head starts to clear. When I'm drowning, just say you'll jump
Alrighty, welcome back everybody here to FillyB's Grand Prix. We are here week 3 of our regular season with another heater matchup. Today we have Crimson Blaze Esports currently 1-1 going up against the side of 4 Higher Cobras, still looking for their first win in the season, both in games and series. As always, I'm Colonel Cass. Joining me today is Xanazurge. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, and I'm excited to watch a hopefully even matchup, and hopefully see some Cobras step up from their first 2 weeks of, a little bit of a lower, performance. But Blaze as 1-1, and should be primed to win this series. But I'm hoping for a competitive match.
And yeah, definitely something that we touched on a little bit last week, considering the rosters we had playing, that I think might be worth bringing up again is just the actual ranks of the players. Again, doesn't necessarily mean anything. There can always be some toss-ups, but for the side of Crimson Blaze, again, 1-1 in series score. They have 4 diamonds and a platinum in the jungle, and then for the side of 4 Higher Cobras, looking at 4 emeralds on the starting roster with a diamond in the top lane. So we'll wait and see how some of those matchups end up here. Maybe a little bit of a favor going toward that side of Crimson going in, but we do get into draft here with Oriana, Syndra, Caitlyn, and Braum taking off the table early.
Yeah, and just to kind of go back, because I think that Blaze
Yeah.
is making some interesting roster movements
Okay.
compared to the first 2 weeks, where your Throat's demise had a phenomenal first 2 weeks, probably the second best AD carry in the league up till now, but he's moving to jungle, and Vladder Daddy is moving to bottom. So curious to see how that's going to play out. I'm hoping they're not just trying something new, for a lower tier team, but this might be their roster orientation moving forward.
And yeah, we'll definitely be interested to see again, obviously, if they think that's the best player, they think it's worth trying for a game or a weekend or a week, then maybe we'll have to wait and see how it goes out for them as we do get the rest of our bands, Vi and Nocturne, going to join that list. And then it will be Ari first pick here for the side of Crimson Blaze. And then it'll be Galio responded here. So just trying to shut down that mid lane. Obviously, Galio, very classic tank into any sort of mage. As we'll have to see what the side of the Cobras want to go for here, as we'll see Briar picked up on the 2 here. We'll see if that gets locked in. Definitely an interesting start to the draft here.
Yeah, it's a pretty good draft so far. I mean, Blaze is gonna prio pick their star mid laner slightly. Ari is a pick that he's performed very well on so far to date, if not one of his best champs. And Galio is kind of a safe pick that you just hope to survive and then look to make macro plays from there.
And yeah, we'll see it Renekton hovered right now once again for the side of Crimson Blaze. Again, not seeing anything too spicy yet in this draft, but if anything, if yeah, last week is any type of a sign, we'll maybe see some interesting stuff in the last couple of picks in our draft here. But the Renekton gets locked in here, so still looking for some bot laners for both teams here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see some get picked up before the bans, but instead it's going to be Talia here, so a bit of a flex. Likely to see it move jungle would be my assumption, but I suppose there's some other places they could move some things.
Jeez, I haven't seen Talia in seasons, it feels like. But again, with the Galio influencing the
Yeah.
macro side of the map, I think Talia offering that little bit of a macro kind of tempo to help you out to match the Galio is a good choice here. Renekton already looking to try to win the lanes in the solo environment, and then hopefully they draft a strong duo. And I'm liking Blaze's draft.
And yeah, definitely interesting to see here. Jax picked up on the 3 just to try and presumably stabilize that top lane, try and stay safe, maybe get some nice favorable trades there into the Renekton, but we'll have to see it here. Both bot lanes completely missing here, barring any flexes, which again, maybe could see some of the characters get moved down there, could see something like a Talia carry, but we'll have to wait and see if that is the direction that Crimson want to go, or if they want to keep things a standard for higher Cobras. Gonna ban away the Mel here, so either think that there might be some type of a flex, or they're just concerned about that Mel going down into the bot lane. So we'll have to wait and see. We do get an update here. Vlad or Daddy not playing. The new sub playing ADC is Alice. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes for them here. But we do get a prod update that there is going to be a bit of a roster change there for the side of, I believe, the Crimson Blade side.
I mean, in terms of just rank, it looks like it's a massive upgrade. Vladar Daddy has been great in the jungle so far, but I
Yeah.
think he's only plat on paper. Now we have a diamond 80 carry coming in the mix. That just makes them even stronger, right? So Blaze has all the tools to win this matchup. We'll just have to see how their bot lane fleshes out in draft.
And yeah, the form has him at a diamond, so maybe not actually a big upgrade. I'm not too sure. But regardless, we do see the rest of our bands coming through. Alongside that Mel, we have Renata band away from For Hire Cobras, Ash band away here from the side of Crimson Blaze, and one more pending here. Would expect that, obviously, again, to lean down toward that bot side, maybe ban away one of the characters they think they could have some problems against, but we'll have to wait and see. It is just going to be that Seraphine band away. Saw that in some nice action last week, but won't be able to see it here in game 1 tonight, as we're going to have Samira hovered, another character. You mentioned Talia. I haven't seen a Samira in quite some time, so definitely could be an interesting lock here for the side of For Hire Cobras with the amount of CC they already have on this team. So we'll have to wait and see if that does get locked in, and if so, what Crimson Blaze want to play into it.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh.
Cobras was before the Ezreal lock was going very straightforward draft. We're gonna run at you. We're gonna throw everything at you and hope we kill you before you peel away. With the Ezreal, now you add a little bit of kiting ability, being able to kind of play at range. But for me, if Blaze drafts a little bit of peel, they should be able to have no issues dealing with the Galio, the Jax, especially the Briar.
And yeah, we'll have to see what this next pickup is going to be for Crimson Blaze. It wouldn't surprise me too much if we get maybe something like a Karma next for the side of For Hire, as Senna going to get picked up here. Now I'm curious where all of our characters are going here. As again, could always have a little bit of flexibility with some of the picks we saw earlier, but definitely interested to see the Senna here against this comp that the side of Crimson Blaze are playing into. But they decide this is the angle that they want to go for, and they're going to go with Poppy on the
Mm.
last pick here. So definitely interesting to see.
Poppy, really good pick. Wherever you put it, support or top lane, just being able to knock away one, if not multiple people at the start of a fight, incredible for what Cobras is trying to do on paper. But don't love the Senna pick. But the Ezreal Karma, classic duo lane synergy, and then again, the other three are just trying to run at you. So they have a nice balanced comp, but I'm liking BLZE on paper.
And yeah, once you see that Ezreal on 4, you know that you either have to pick the Karma or you're very likely to see it played against you. So it is going to be Crimson Blaze. They go Senna Poppy. I think this is definitely going to be interesting to see. Like you mentioned, I definitely think that that Poppy on 5 adds a nice rounding stone, I suppose, to the draft. Like you mentioned, right? There are some characters that, to be transparent, aren't going to be difficult to knock away, right? Briar has to walk basically in a straight line when they're in half of their abilities, so there's definitely a couple of worlds here that we see some nice plays by this Poppy, regardless of, like you mentioned, at this point, I would expect it to go support, but maybe if they want to do some goofy shenanigans, they could get that Poppy moved up to the top or the jungle, so we'll have to wait and see, but what do you think here? You think you prefer Crimson Blaze's comp overall?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they got a lot of comfort picks. You got Arion slightly, you got your Renekton for Kazanon, and then the Poppy just to handle with all that disengage. So very well thought of draft by BLZE on paper, and even just from their individual skill play, they should have this series in the bag. But for me, the star player on Cobras is their AD carry. Now he's on a champion that can peel for himself compared to past weeks. If he's able to pop off, Cobras have a shot.
And yeah, again, just going back to the current league standings here. Currently, every single team has lost at least one game of League of Legends. Some teams still undefeated in series, such as Stepping Stones, Migos, or Chasers Ego. But every team has not won a game, with the sole person being for Higher Cobras here. Currently 0-4 in actual game score. So definitely going to be looking to, at the very least, pick up their first win tonight, even if they can't get the whole series. And while they would love to step away from being one of the current 3 defeated teams at 0-2 after that second week, we'll have to wait and see, as again, Crimson Blaze Esports currently 1-1 on the series score with the game score of 3-3. So both of their weekends going to that third game. We'll see if they're able to pick things up in a quicker fashion or if it will go back to that third game. We're going to send things over to a break. We'll be back game 1 here in just a few minutes.
Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my loving. inside my corner, yeah. When it gets cold and dark, you make it warmer. 'Cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you, I just can't breathe. You never get away 'cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you, I just can't breathe. You never get away from me. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. 'Cause you are on my mind, on my mind. You've been there from the start, inside my corner. When it gets cold and dark, you make it warmer. 'Cause you are on my mind, all of my days and every single night, single night. There ain't no way to get you off my mind, off my mind. Without you, I just can't breathe. You'll never get away from me. Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. You and I, spending the night, chasing forever. For you, oh no, I'd be your one and only. Don't let me go, don't leave me lonely. Say you'll stay through the pain, say you won't go running. Let me in through your veins, get off on my loving.
Alrighty, welcome back. We are here, game number 1 of week number 3 here in the FillyB's Grand Prix. Crimson Blaze Esports up against For Hire Cobra here. One team trying to move up to 2-1 in the standings, while the other looking for their first win of the season. Most of the characters where we expected them to be, with the notes Talia is in the jungle, Poppy is down support. And what do you think, Xana? Do you think this is the right call?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly how you want to do the lane assignments. I love the paint in the middle of the lane there. I think what's interesting is the summoner choices. So Renekton went Ignite, so he's looking to
Sure.
win lane,
Yep.
and Poppy went heal, so not
Yeah.
necessarily looking to kill that lane, just looking to survive against double range and play for kind of that man advantage in future team fights.
And yeah, we'll have to see how it goes here as we do get into our first lanes of the day here in the mid lane, Slightly and Insane here on this Ahri Galio matchup. Definitely going to be interesting. Obviously, Galio just looking to survive the lane. Obviously, will take whatever he can get, but just looking to stop that Ahri from getting notably ahead and trying to run away with the game. As up in the top lane here, Kazanon and the side of Jonicus looking into that matchup. Like you mentioned here, the Ignite for the Renekton going to try and sustain a little bit of those bloody fights here against that lethal tempo Jax. As in the bot lane, again, we have this pretty slow lane, like you mentioned with the heal, not expecting too much fighting, both sides going for the barrier on the ADC and the heal on the support, but could obviously get a level 2 rush if we do have a level up to come in an advantage, but they will both hit 2 at the same time. Ezreal still looking to fight aggro. E going to come in. They have to pop that heal really early, and this is rough for the Crimson Blaze bot lane here. Nicely played by Forhaya Cobras.
Absolutely, and this is how you need to play this laning phase. I mean, it's smart for Talia to start bot side, because if I'm Cobras, I'm saying, hey, we're going to have perma shove bot, Briar play their bot side, and then essentially you're just kind of splitting the map at the end of the day. But if I'm Briar, you're playing around your winning bot lane.
And yeah, in the top lane here, Flash actually, Kazanin gonna go for this play here. Ignite comes down and he just gets the first blood. Jack says, you know what, I'm dead here. No point burning anything. Holds on to his Flash at least, but nicely done here. Kazanon on the Renekton burns both of his summoners for the solo bolo in that first blood. There is still teleport for Jack, so it is a silver lining, but obviously the hope would have been not to get solo kill first blood. So nicely done here for the Renekton. A nice early lead for Crimson Blaze despite the mess in the bot lane right now. Down about a wave of farm right now as they try and clean up the rest of what's currently pushed under tower, and an early recall going to come back for the majority here of Forhaya Cobras. Everybody but that Briar jungle has now taken a back, whether by choice or by force here. Mid laner and top laner both missing teleports, and it'll just be the walk back here for the bot lane.
Yeah, I think it's just careless if you're the Jax. I mean, you know your lane opponent has Ignite, you know you don't have it, so you can't get into these extended trades. You kind of just need to survive the early laning phase. The saving grace is that he's got TP, so he can, you know, try to keep the wave as shoved as possible and punish, but he's just going to get ganked again.
And yeah, he's able to get out here again, like I mentioned with that last play, did hold on to some of those key summoners, so able to use it to get away here. Not going to go down to anything like that Talia gank, fortunately for him, as we'll see it, the bomb here on this Briar will get caught on this pink ward, so not going to have a super good flank here. We'll spot it out, take it down here, try and make the vision a little bit better for the next time they want to go for a fight. This is auto on that ward, steps back for it here, as again, for the moment, nothing too big in terms of jungle lead. Full camp with the scuttle for both players, as we'll see them taking a pretty synced resets here. Talia a couple of seconds faster, I suppose, but going to be pretty negligible as they wait for a control ward. As again, here in the bot lane, worth noting, Ezreal currently up 13 farm on this Senna.
Yeah, I mean, just having that range advantage, I'd be very curious to see how Karma opts to build. Based off the augment choices, it seems like they're going to go more of a shield-focused build, which is the correct way in the current meta. Because I think if you try to go full damage Karma, it just doesn't offer much agency at the end of the game. But right now, it looks like they're building the right way, and it looks like mid's also having that early advantage.
And yeah, Insane missing quite a lot of HP right now. The fortunate part for him, Ari just about out of mana, as we'll get a play here. Bark trying to go for a play, but won't get too much here on the Poppy. Quick escape here for the side of Squid on the Karma. Both mid laners going to take a recall with the note that Ari does still have that teleport and will opt to go ahead and use it now. No point holding onto it forever. So going to try and force a little bit of loss onto this Galio here. Currently down by just a few CS in this mid lane, but we'll have to wait and see if they can catch up on the rest of it here, as Galio will get back in time to catch the wave. We'll see how much he's able to get, as again, keep an eye at these two lanes here, top and bot. Pretty notable CS disparities, with of course the Jax getting solo killed early, definitely at a key disadvantage now, down almost 15 farm now already, only 5 minutes into the game.
And you're okay with that, you know, the Jax having that little bit of the disadvantage as long as you play for bot side, start to stack some dragons. But I feel like Cobra's is playing a little slow. You know, Karma's trying to go for a lot of empowered Qs and missing champions. Might as well just go for the wave. Keep them shoved, permanently play around dragon advantage, and that's, I feel like, how Cobra wants to play. But instead they're trying to freeze and just not using their tempo that they should be.
And yeah, we do have the bomb here lurking around the area. First Dragon is alive, so could potentially look for a play, but with Ari pushing up mid and Galio, I believe, on a reset there, definitely looking a little bit rough here, as we'll have the 2-level advantage in the top lane. Jax just now triggering over to 6. It's actually fight here. Briar looking toward the Ari, able to chunk them down to just under half HP. Galio gets stunned up here on his dash. Stun comes back in, and Briar in a lot of danger here. Charm comes through, and that is a great CC change. Your Throat's Demise going to pick up the first kill, or the second kill here in the game for this Crimson Blaze side. 2-0 lead, and they're going to get that dragon, so really nice start to the game for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just quickly getting worse if you're Cobras. I mean, just clear, careless plays. The Jax, you know, of fighting someone who's got Ignite, bomb CT, walking where there's a wall to get hit by the Poppy when you could have just walked away into mid lane and be completely free. It's just mental gaps, and Jax dies again. So it is quickly snowballing if your Cobras here.
Yeah, Ignite comes back up for Renekton, and it looks like he didn't waste too much time getting some more value out of it here. Another kill in that leftmost column for him. The wave is crashing in, so that CS gap right now, just shy of 30, is just going to continue to get worse and worse with that Jax here missing another wave, as maybe we'll be in time to get the last couple, but not going to matter too much, as we do have our junglers back on a clear here on their reds at the moment here. As we'll wait and see what the next big play will be. Grub's up in about half a minute. Not necessarily as impactful potentially as they have been in the past, but definitely still nice to get that buff for your team if you can. No reason not to. So we'll wait and see if we do get either of our junglers going for that objective, or if it ends up being on the back burner for a little bit in favor of a few ganks. As again, we do have our Briar moving down bot side here for the moment, so potentially could try and set up for a gank here, but with the current advantage of this bot lane for Haya Cobras, I'm not sure that it's necessarily in the play.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Cobras, your name your win condition is this Ezreal. He is not only the best player on the team, he's got the only advantage in the game. So if I'm Briar, I'm never looking topside. I'm just trying to split the map and just trying to salvage as much as I can, but it just doesn't seem like that's what they're doing, and that's what's frustrating me the most.
And yeah, we do have Talia moving up topside here, Poppy in the area as well, so it looks like another objective. Gonna go over to Crimson Blaze here in the form of those Grubs. Briar on the Gromp right now, so really no meaningful way to get over there. Charm comes in mid lane, and Zane a little bit more damage taken, but again, against the Ari, not going to be too meaningful here, still at around half HP. Would have to get pretty much full comboed as Ezreal. Ulting in here, not going to tag on to anything meaningful. 3 Grubs will go over to the side of Crimson Blaze. 1.6k gold lead here, just shy of the 9th minute here. And again, mentioned it when they got that dragon, but you can't really hope for a better start.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm pretty sure they saw the Poppy during that Ezreal ult, so they should know that Senna's alone. So, I mean, Jack's likely going to die here, but why are we not looking to dive the Senna at this point? Briar's still nowhere near bot lane here, and luckily Ari's covering now, but again, there's just no pressure and urgency from Cobras.
Yeah, Senna ults up. Unfortunately, not going to get the assist there. Was looking for either that or the kill, but regardless, a clean dive comes through for the side of Crimson. Blaze flash stun for the Renekton, and then they just drop every button on the Jax. Now 0-3 here, yet to pick up a tier 2 component, walking around with 4 blades at the moment here. And unfortunately for the Jax, it does upgrade to a Hearthbound Axe here, but still looking pretty rough compared to their other items in that top lane matchup.
Yeah, it's just like finally we're starting to the wave just crashed on tower long enough for Poppy to gank top lane and make his way back bot. It's just great. You have a 30
Yeah.
CS lead. Love to see that. What else are we doing, Cobras? And it's just complete lack of coordination, and just not understanding your win condition, which is the Ezreal.
And I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely what you mentioned earlier, right? There just isn't much else to go for this team right now, right? You can't help the Jax. Jax is already done for. He's down 30 CS. He's getting dived. This man is already, maybe he can come back later in the game and have some nice impact. The character obviously still has a nice kit, regardless of being a little bit weaker in terms of power and the stats he'll have later in the game. But you need this Ezreal to be fed. You need this guy to win you the game if you want to have a chance of winning it. As we do have a taunt coming out here, but it's just, again, like you mentioned, lack of coordination. They're not here to hit this Poppy. They're walking around that sidewall. So Bark for me is going to get away again here. It doesn't even feel threatened with the facing threats he's had. Dragon up in a minute. So it's not like we're getting anything meaningful out of this play. As we do have Kazanon going for another one on Jonicus. Has that ignite ready if it gets to that point, but won't kill. So it will be an escape for Jax. But in an escape, which doesn't even look like he's going to take, it would just be another wave lost. But now I'm concerned that Jax is just going to get solo dived.
But am I crazy? Why are we walking ganking as the Galio? Just ult if you're trying to,
Yeah.
make a man advantage. But why are we just walking unassisted? Like, it just doesn't make sense what Cobra's trying to do here. Like, you could clearly tell that they're antsy and trying to make a play somewhere.
Well,
And Jax got dove again. It is, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was pretty easy to see coming. I mean, the Jax, you saw him use ult, you saw him use flash. He doesn't recall under half HP. You know Briar's not going to be anywhere because, I mean, what has the bomb done this game? They floated bot a bit, but like you mentioned, right, the coordination just doesn't feel like it's here right now for 4 higher Cobras. And whether it's Crimson Blaze taking advantage of it or just playing their own game stably, it's, again, the lead just continues to grow here. Is actually Bomb gonna get caught out here. A nice stagger on that Blasco and CC chain. Well done there, Crimson Blaze. Again, it keeps going back to that same thing, right? There's just coordination here. That's a nice invade. That's a nice find, a nice kill. And it puts them up now 6-0 in kills. They'll be at around 4,000 gold. They got the first dragon, they got the full set of grubs, and unless something crazy happens here, this is going to be the second dragon in only 12 minutes.
Yeah, I remember doing my early season write-up for these teams, and while I was impressed with some parts of the Cobra roster on paper, it was the Bomb CT being in the jungle that gave me the biggest pause, just because on paper, we got a big fight, so I'll talk after this.
As yeah, we do get the Galio ult coming in here. The bomb gonna go down again at the start of it. Dragon secured by Crimson Blaze. As Alice here on the Senna will go down. First kill of the game for 4 higher Cobras. Ezreal needs to keep getting this gold. Ahri, though, gonna pick up the double kill, killing Karma here. Poppy low HP. Ezreal flashes out. Ult comes through. Not gonna be lethal on anyone, though. Poppy 1 HP. Slightly, though, taking a lot of damage here. Nice dodge on that charm here. But Ezreal, he can't finish any of these players off. Barkfumi's at 1 HP. Slightly's at 1 HP. Your Throat's demise under half, but the Ezreal, he just can't find more kills. He got the one on Senna. Bark for me, a shred of HP, but he needs to be finishing those kills for Haya Cobras. And again, I don't think that's entirely his fault, right? He's dodging for his life. He's doing whatever he can to survive. But if he can get those kills, that's another 700 gold, another 1,000 gold if he gets the third that falls into his pocket. And again, that could be the type of catalyst you need to keep those team fights going green, going positive. But unfortunately for them, they get 1 kill. They get a bit of gold on Ezreal. He gets his Triforce. That's all nice. That's all good and well. But again, it doesn't feel like you can use that one Triforce to turn this entire game around. So again, I think it's what we've mentioned, right? For Higher Cobras, they need to get behind this Ezreal, as we do have a play topside. Kazanon trying to commit to the tower here. Ult's See if he can get the 1v2,
God.
stunned into the wall. Jax just keeps hitting. The healing, though, comes out. Kazanon, if he gets another Q, this fight gets turned around, trying to get in the bush. We get Galio stunning up on the Ahri here. Back up top lane here. Kazanon has cooldowns ready. Flash not quite, though, as we do get Insane still trying to run away. Kazanon finds the kill on Jax in the top lane. Now Insane has to flash over that Earth W from the side of Taliyah here. Your Thread's Demise not going to be able to add another one, but when you're up 11 kills to 1 at only 14 minutes, I don't think you're too upset on that, as actually Insane almost maybe stepped up a bit far there, but not going to get found by Your Throat's Demise regardless. So able to get back to his tower and try and clean up this next wave. We'll see if he can stay safe. Foxfire for a bit of attempted poke, but we'll just be poking out the tower here.
Kazanon is him. He just took a 1v2 under enemy tower and killed both. He is him. But I kind of want to go back to the guy with the Japanese characters in Cobra's name. So I googled it. It's apparently Muichiro Takedo. So that's what I'm going to call him, Takedo. He's him. I'm telling you, get this man on an actual team, because if he has a chance to just be around a solid, stable roster, he can be the best AD carry in the league. He was the only reason that fight wasn't catastrophic in the Dragon Pit. And look at it. He's even now getting kills, being able to kite it out. If not, maybe get 2 more. He's him.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I mean, he picks up some nice kills here, right? We'll have to see here as Jonicus. I mean, what are we doing there, right?
Camera, I just don't think we pan top anymore. That's it. Like, I feel bad at this point.
Yeah, obviously we didn't see what led to that, but looking at the wave state, I can only imagine he's trying to extend for that wave, trying to get some CS, and instead he just gets farmed like a mini cannon for this Renekton. I'm sure he can't be worth too much gold here. Ezreal throwing out the FF emotes here, as we'll see Insane. Don't know what happened here, but he's going to go down as well. 14-3 now, 7 for Renekton, 4 for Taliyah, 3 for Ahri, and while Ezreal's the big bad here, rightfully so, the Senna and Poppy still yet to find their first kill for either of them. Unfortunately, they don't need their bot lane to win this game, as they're going to go pick up this Herald.
Brother, it's 0-12 between top lane and mid lane. What am I watching right now? It's just... Cobra's has a fundamental inability to understand when you're behind, just survive. Just try to get whatever gold you can, don't force it. And here we go, here we force again. Thankfully they disengaged, but it's just another example of they feel like they're behind, so they have to force something, and it just doesn't work out for them. Whereas, understand you're losing lane, play for your strong side winning lane, and you have a shot at the game. Hopefully they do that in game 2, because I just don't see a world where they come back in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like you mentioned, right? The only chance they have is going to be in the hands of this Ezreal at this point, and even then, I don't think it's a good chance, right? You got him as your second best ADC in the league, and he's going to need to prove that if they are going to get any chance in this game. Galio going to come in, double taunt, Kazanon as well, though, trying to zone a bit here. Briar going to be able to come in as well. The bomb going to hold on here, going to get that fleas onto Taliyah, as well as the damage onto Poppy. Sun comes out, Bomb Court trying to stay alive right now. He will go down to the Taliyah, as Ezreal, though, free hitting here. He's stacked up on that tempo here, but the flash stun from this Renekton. Ezreal just has to walk away, and in the absence of this carry here, they are going to all go down, and while Kazanon not able to find the kill he was looking for, it's a fantastic play by him to get the zone. Slightly comes in, stalls him off a bit longer. The kill finally goes down. Taliyah able to pick it up here. 7th kill for them on the game. Ezreal goes down. Karma barely gets away here. Respawn's coming back up, but again, you look at the state of the game, that's mid-tier 2 going down to the Herald. It's mid-tier 3 as well, potentially going to go down. We'll see how much damage gets done to it. 3rd Dragon is lost as well here. It's going to go to the side of Crimson Blaze. They're up 10,000 gold at 18 minutes, and while it's not necessarily as bad as some of the games we saw in week 2, it's certainly not good here for the side of 4HC.
That was a good fight for Cobras. It was actually, it looked really well. I mean, Bomb CT probably shouldn't be the one engaging, but Galio got in there, landed his CC. Ezreal's trying to pump as much as he can. But then the Renekton shows up, and the Renekton just has to move past and get onto the back line, and you can't do anything. He's 7-0-4. He can one-shot the Ezreal. He can one-shot pretty much everyone, except maybe the Galio. So it's just, what do? You kind of just, in my opinion, FF, go next, save your mental, and hopefully you figure it out in draft and start to actually play for your winning lanes based off of draft.
And yeah, we'll see another attempt here in the bot lane. The one thing of note, Ezreal not quite here. Squid going to take a lot of damage at the start, trying to catch up. Taliyah Q barely is going to get him with the burn there, I believe. His bomb Doing some damage here. Insane trying to hold on. Threads Demise looking for some more damage, trying to finish off that Briar. Triple Taunt comes out here. Ezreal
Oh my
should get the kill
God.
on Poppy. Surely shields come out, heals come out, and no, we're not going to find the kill here again. Ezreal talking to trying to kite backwards here. Flash comes in. Auto flash from the Senna. Finds it with the Q at the end of the day. 2-1-9 now as Bomb is still here. Why is the Briar still here? As Talia ults in, finds him shockingly close, and picks up the 9th kill of the game here for the jungler.
I don't know, bro. They're just running it at this point. Like, great, just get as much kills as you can, pad that KDA. Let's move on to the next one because at this point, they're not trying to win. They try to do a bot lane gank with Briar, 0-6 Briar, Karma support, 0-4 Galio. What damage do you have from those three that makes you think you could take a 3v3 at any stage of the game? Sure, Ezreal's running down, but you just get blown up. It just, you have no damage. I don't understand.
And yeah, we do get an update on some math you ran for us earlier. If you add up top to mid, they are now currently 0-17 and 2. If you want to give Briar the 2 assists credit, I suppose, is not necessarily the highest silver lining of all time in that sake. Is we'll get some clearing of the waves out here. Ezreal done with that second item here, but again, you are just so far behind the curve as a team at this point. Everybody else is done with their second item, and so while Ezreal is maybe on pace with the rest of the lobby, you need to be so astronomically ahead for it to actually matter. As Kazanon looking to get the stun on Insane, but doesn't look like he can. The taunt comes out, so he finally gets that stun off, but it ends up just being a CC for CC trade. E comes back in, slice in, dice back, as we'll get the ignite on Insane. He should burn out to it. Indeed, he will on the second tick. Kazanon finds the kill, and now his eyes have changed to Karma. Dom gonna come out here, as we'll see that kill surely go down on Karma in the side, as Bomb W's out on Briar, and then he didn't hit any of the other keys on his keyboard. So Briar moment number 1, probably not actually Briar moment number 1, but the first one I've directly seen where the character just walks into death, as Kazanon does finally find Squall just not walking back far enough by any means to safety here, and it is definitely a rough game here for the side of 4HC. I definitely am starting to get on the same track of you of just trying to save mental at this point. I'm always not a fan of seeing FFs on stream, but it wouldn't surprise me too much.
It's just get this man a team. Like, if I'm Muichiro Takedo, every week he's performed, you know, as good as he can considering his team, but
Yeah.
his teammates are just letting him down time and time again. You cannot have top jungle mid combined for 0-19. It's just unacceptable. And like, I'm just looking at it individually. Insane is not a bad player, but every week that I've seen his box score, the man I think has 3 kills across 3 weeks. What is going on? He's not that bad of a player. It's individually, it's not a problem. It is collectively understanding strategically what your win con is, playing for it, and just making the right decisions. There just seems to be a complete gap in the mental aspect if you're Cobras.
Yeah, we'll have to see if there is a miracle in this game. I suppose at this point the miracle would be winning game 2. Slightly goes in for a combo here, does get it onto the Ezreal, but it's only going to do about a third of the HP. Senna ult comes in, puts him below half here, as again the only person of note right now worth watching is Muichiro, as it will see the Galio go down, flash combo in, and it will be the Renekton killing down the Briar. Fortunately, Ezreal able to stay alive, but again looking at tiny silver linings here as he tries to retreat. Poppy chasing him down for his life here, ends up getting the stun on Jax, trying to peel back away here, and realistically this is just the game right now. Ari hits the combo into Jonicus, as we'll have to Arcane Shiv back into Fountain here, but that's Nexus Tower 1 being beaten down here. The wave's going to get cleared out here, and then we are going to look at that second one. Your Throat's Demise zoning from the back side of it here, trying to hold on. That's Nexus Tower number 2. Ezreal trying to do the damage, but we just don't have it. 23 minutes in, almost flat. It'll be game 1 to Crimson Blaze, 28 kills to 3 with a 16 grand lead.
That was just hard to watch. I don't know if BLZE did if they did anything phenomenal, because I don't think that's the case. Yeah, Kazanon gap top lane, but Your Throat's Demise 11-0-7 as Jungle Talia. I didn't even know they had a Talia, honestly, because he didn't need to do anything. Yeah, he had a great scoreline, but what did he need to do? Renekton just completely dumpstered top lane.
Yeah.
Bot lane, you know, just had to survive, which they did, and then all of a sudden, Cobra's made the wrong decisions at every turn, and all of a sudden the lead just ballooned and got unsurmountable. So I just hope the draft was not terrible. If you're
Yeah.
Cobras, the draft was okay, but understanding your win condition and playing and having a game strategy to execute needs to be the priority if you're the Cobras.
And yeah, I mean, we're looking at the player damage right now, and there's definitely a notable implement here. Karma at 5.1 thousand is not going to be the lowest damage in the lobby, and the other support is above them at 5.8k, so definitely going to be a rough spot here on the composition. While we wish the bomb the best of luck in game two, trying to make up for a very rough performance game one, right? Like you mentioned, need to be seeing a lot of that action in the bot lane, trying to turn some of those rough plays earlier on in the game into positives that get Muichiro a little bit more ahead in the early to middle portions of what ended up being that 20-ish minute game. But regardless, we're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna send things back over to a break. Won't be back, won't be gone long. We'll be back at game number two's a draft here, hopefully just a few minutes, as we'll have to wait and see how that one goes for both sides here. As for Higher Cobras, definitely need to figure something out here in the next few minutes. Alrighty, we are back here, getting ready for game number two's draft. And again, like you mentioned there in the game one debrief, it wasn't necessarily the worst draft of all time by For Hire Cobras, but definitely a lot of things that didn't end up going positively. As we get back into it here, our draft band's going to be Caitlyn, Nocturne, Maokai, Oriana, Syndra, and one pending here from Crimson Blaze. But Xana, what do you think For Hire need to go? What type of comp do you think they need to be drafting here to best utilize this Ezreal? Are there any notable picks that you would want to see?
I think they need to stop playing for counter pick in bot lane and play
Sure.
for counter pick in your solo lanes, because those are the lanes that are struggling time and time again across every series so far, and you need to give them a comfortable matchup to have a shot in. Jackson to Renekton, especially if you're going to go TP into Ignite, it's just a recipe for a disaster. So let's counter pick. Good. I like the early Jinx pick because it doesn't matter what ADC you give Wucher Taquito, he's going to perform. So get something easy. Let's pair that with like a Lulu, something to keep it alive, and then counterpick every other lane from there. Give yourselves a chance, because otherwise we're going to see a repeat of game one.
And yeah, it is going to be the Wukong picked up here for the side of Crimson Blaze. We'll have to wait and see what they will want to go with it here on the two. Could obviously try and seal some of those picks. Obviously, like you mentioned, Jinx and Lulu, definitely a standout common pairing, but obviously a couple of other characters that can go well with that AD. So definitely not necessarily in a rush to steal away a character, but could do it if they want, or could just grab some other prio pick of their own, maybe their own AD or just an important solo laner. And they're going to go once again for this slow stack game. They play Senna last game against a great AD carry. In this game, they say, you know what? We're going to move on. We're going to play the next stacking character that we can just wait 20, 25 minutes and then be pretty scary. So Smolder going to be the pickup here. And then it's Braum to go with that Jinx.
I don't love the Braum pick. I mean, I love the Smolder pick because, again, Cobra's volley is not going to kill you straight up in 2v2, so just scale, survive, get to the late game. You know your solo lanes are going to gap them, so you got to do everything you can if you're Cobras to keep this Jinx alive and keep it empowered. Braum's not that guy. Like, what are you using that shield for? Smolder ult? Who cares? What else are we doing with the Braum? Give me a Lulu, give me something of a Chanter, Emilio, something along those lines to give your Jinx a chance to pop off. I do like the Maokai pick because their jungler has shown he's not the guy that can play carry champions and influence the map. Put him on tank duty. Give him a Maokai, give him something with CC, point and click abilities, and hope for the best from there. So love that pick. Don't love the Braum.
And yeah, my brain when I saw the Braum was like, I can almost support this maybe if we go something like a Karma mid, but then I remembered we're in Fearless. There is no Karma. It's already gone from game one, so definitely won't be seeing anything of that nature. Could maybe still see an Enchanter in one of those solo lanes, but at this point I wouldn't really be expecting it. So we'll have to wait and see. Can't really go with another tank mid for that, something like that. Galio as interesting pick here for Crimson Blaze. What do you think of the Taric in this current setup?
I love the pick. It's fantastic into Braum because you're not looking to die
Yeah, you just get to
2v2.
punch him.
Exactly. So you just survive. Tarek's laning phase is probably the roughest part of him. You get to those team fights. That ult is going to be game breaking, game changing.
Yeah.
So great pick across the board. I am loving Blaze's draft from top to bottom.
And yeah, we'll have to see what the bans are going to be here. Talon, an interesting ban, presumably trying to block something in that mid lane. Is I don't think I would be too scared of the jungle Talon from Cobras here, but we'll have to wait and see. Mel going to get banned away once again here. So last game, definitely, I think, leading for that ban being a bot lane, but this game will definitely be focused on that mid lane with that Smolder picked up already. Wouldn't expect Smolder to get flexed anywhere but that ADC spot, so we'll have to wait and see what the next two bans are going to be. Crimson Blaze still expecting to be focusing on those solo lanes, maybe just a scary matchup or something that they don't want to have to play into, since they will have to blind pick that mid lane, and they are going to go ahead ban the Sylas, and then Cobras just take away Garen here. I'm very curious what they plan on blind picking top lane with that Garen ban.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of picks at this stage that you want to blind. I would say you kind of just pick something tanky, something with a little bit of engage. I don't think Ornn has been taking it, right? Ornn would be
No.
my pick that you kind of hopefully lock in. You shouldn't get completely raffle stomped as an Ornn, and it scales very well to late game, and you're showing a very beefy front line. And then you go for a high damage mid laner. That is my ideal draft if you're Cobras.
And yeah, Malphite, another option that I'm seeing is definitely decent here. Wukong Smolder Graves, so definitely could get some value out of just slamming the Wukong, but they are going to look to a different CC top laner. Shen, not my personal favorite pick. I do think I like maybe that Ornn or that Malphite a little bit better here, but I'm happier seeing Shen than seeing like Fiora or Irelia or something, so I suppose I'll give it maybe like a B, maybe a B+, so we'll have to wait and see if they do lock it in as well, I suppose. Obviously not necessarily guaranteed quite yet, as there it is officially confirmed. Shen going up to that top lane, Maokai in the jungle, and then in the mid lane, like you mentioned, they don't have damage right now aside from that Jinx, and while obviously that Jinx is going to be your main carry and the person that you want to be playing around, they do need some more damage, and it is going to come in the world of a Victor here into it, so we'll have to wait and see. And what do you think? Is it just going to be Wukong top with that Graves jungle?
Yeah, I think it's looking like it, which I definitely like. I do. Wukong was a great first pick flex to be jungle or top lane.
Yep.
I think if you go with the Wukong with the ignite, you can look to actually kill this Shen matchup, or at the very least punish him for when Shen ults away and influences the map. But twist of fate to not go for a global ult with global ult, a really good pickup here. Kind of just neutralize the Shen pick overall. It's again, I think Blaze is just winning the draft top to bottom.
And yeah, they do end up swapping over. They're going to go to the Vigard instead of that Twisted Fate, so not necessarily going to be as bothered with that global movement. Instead, they just say, you know what? You're playing a lot of tanks. Some of these team fights might be pretty slow. Let's just infinitely stack, right? Let's be ready to go to the late game. If this Jinx does become a threat, we're already going to be looking at 4 items, 5 items, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So they decide to just full commit to this, try and obviously, I expect a bit of early aggression, especially from that top side of the map, right? Wukong and Graves are definitely going to be looking for some early fights here against the majority of the tanks they're against in that top side, but definitely in that mid and bot, I expect this side of Crimson Blaze to do what they did last game, right? They're going to play slow, they're going to stack up. That Senna obviously was the notable example of it this game, Smolder and Vigar. What do you think here for that final pick, just going in with the double stacking? You like that, or would you have preferred something more like that TF with a bit more utility?
I think I still would have preferred the TF, but I don't hate it. The
Sure.
only issue is now you got to be even more careful in the early game because with two
Yeah,
scaling champions, if you do fall
very
behind
weak,
that early game, you might not make it to the late game where the scaling pops off. So
for
I think
sure.
the volatile lane is going to be top lane. You got to get the Shen going because if he falls behind, Wukong's able to shove him in. He can't ult anywhere. You ult
Yep.
somewhere, boom, you just lost 2 towers. So
Yep.
you got to put it into a position where he's able to keep that wave shoved, get to level 6 first, and then make those map plays so that he doesn't get punished when he ults away.
And yeah, definitely have to be a little bit careful here with the Shen. Wouldn't be surprised to see him bring that teleport regardless of, or to pair with that Shen ult. Obviously, maybe a little bit unfortunate, but definitely would not surprise me at all to see it picked up here instead of something like one of those combat sums, maybe the Ignite, the Exhaust being considered. But we'll have to wait and see what they want to go here, as we'll have to head things back over to a very small break. Hopefully, let Spec Delay run its course, let the players get that draft remade in game. We'll be back just a few minutes, no longer than 4 to 5 minutes here. Game 2 of FillyB Grand Prix Week 3. Alrighty, we are back. Game number 2 in our series. Could be the last one if it goes to the side of Crimson Blaze, but we'll just have to wait and see. Once again, everything as expected. That Wukong flexed up to the top lane. Graves in the jungle here as we take a look around, catch an eye on some of our summoner spells. The first thing that comes to my eye was something you pointed out, Xana, earlier on in game 1, and that's Kazanon running that Ignite once again here, going for some early pressure in lane.
Yeah, I mean, you don't go TP to try to match a Shen. You got to try to smash his face in, and when he does TP, which he has to do to make that pick work, you just run down the lane. And if not, take the inhib, just try to get as much towers as possible, cause as much pressure, punish the Shen for using his ability.
And yeah, we'll see Insane slightly here. in the mid lane here, obviously, for the side of Crimson Blaze. Every time that Veigar gets some Q value, it's going to just get slightly easier and easier to win this game. We'll see how many stacks he can get up to a little bit later in the game. But for now, just going to be focused on this lane up here, top lane, a place of high importance. Is Khazanon already looking for an aggro play, but Shen able to hold on in a healthy trade. Again, Shen has some nice early damage with all of those enhanced autos from the Q, from the grasp. Is actually Shen a little bit of pressure here. Khazannon almost goes down early here. Again, that Shen Q damage really is pretty severe, so you definitely have to be pretty careful of that. And Khazannon, the start to his game has just gotten slowed down quite a bit.
Absolutely, and I'm a big Shen enjoyer, and we talked about how top lane needs to be the focus lane matchup here. If I'm Shen, I'm running Ignite because he's got so much kill potential early, especially into a fellow Ignite runner such as a Wukong. I think he could not only win this lane, but actually solo kill and get that momentum that they need.
And yeah, we'll see it for the side of Blaze now. If they will be able to find any nice value here, is bot lane definitely going to be a place where, again, I'm just trying to stack up, get things to be a little bit more positive here, as we'll see another trade here, holding on, trying to find some late value here. Another stack there, slightly more AP here for that Veigar. Missed the W, unfortunately, but not that big of a problem here in the mid lane. Has a wave stacking up, so should be able to try and control a couple of nice Qs here on some of the wave, but we'll have to wait and see. And the one thing worth noting here, after that very nice trade, Shen currently up by a few CS, and while he does have a wave pushing in here, is definitely in a much better position than last game, where he just gets solo killed randomly by around, I believe, that 3rd or 4th minute. So hopefully that won't curse him. He has a great HP position right now. Obviously the Ignite, something he needs to be wary of considering how last game started and then tracked on from there, but definitely a much healthier start right now. But he does need to be careful of the Graves in the area. Has a ward on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect this to be anywhere near the same early game bloodbath that last game was, just because, Blaze has 2 scaling heroes. But at the same time, if you're Cobra, there's a timer. 20 minutes, you lose the game. Well, regardless of score. The score could be 0-0, you are losing the game at 20 minutes. So your pressure's on you. You got to start making plays. And again, it's not towards bot. It's got to be towards top. And now that the wave is shoving unfavorably towards the Shen, you kind of missed your window, in my opinion. And Graves might be looking for a dive here.
And yeah, Maokai in the area. Oh, that's... Oh, man, Maokai flashes in his zone, and he's gonna die to tower. He dies to that. Oh my god! It's horrible for 4 higher Cobras again, the entire play. In the meantime, an attempted dive on Shen, I believe. The kill ends up going over. Shen gets the kill onto the Wukong as Graves, trying to chase him down. We're not done fighting bot lane, though. Stun comes out. Tarek gonna heal, gets the stun back on the Braum here, finds the kill. Smolder goes in, barrier comes out, but they can't find it. Double kill for Tarek here, of all people. Smolder gets the 1 kill. Shen gets the kill in the top lane and is able to escape. And again, it gets back to the bomb here. It's the same problem as last game, right? He tries to flash a W, tries to get on that aggressive play, but the W is out of distance. And then the Tarek, you could see him step backwards a few times to try and get slower so the Maokai can W into him. Ends up being caught under tower, gets stunned up, goes down, gets Smolder that kill, finds the other 2 kills himself on that bot lane scuffle post gank. And I mean, this is, if anything, that's a symbol of the coffin slowly having its walls built up here for the side of 4 higher Cope.
I'm just so incredibly frustrated.
Riz.
You've got the Tarek flash without having to use an ability. Great, walk away. That's your advantage. Regank later. But then we dive under tower, level 3. I just don't understand, and I'm not one to be critical of people. Like, this is Diamond League. If you're trying to play up, I get it, but based off of last game and this game, the bomb CT is outclassed. It is what it is. I'm sorry to say it, but and I'm hoping, based off of his first item, it sounds like he's going to go sapling build. I hope that's not entirely the case, but anything's possible when you're playing with a guy who dives level 3 against a Smolder. Anything's possible.
And yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bit unfortunate, right? Obviously, IAO as well. Actually, hold on. We'll get a play here in the mid first. It's going to be a stun on the Vygar Graves in the area as well. So another bit of damage onto Insane. He will flash away here, a bit early potentially, but he wants to dodge some of that incoming damage. So I don't hate it too much here for Insane. He will get out back to tower here. Don't expect him to be followed on too heavily, but getting back to my point, the rank disparity in this game, I mentioned it earlier on, and for higher Cobras here, definitely in a rough spot here with the platinum there on that side of Bomb coming in here is, again, obviously some other subs around with the side of Alice coming in to play this bot lane for the side of BLZE. You have your Throat's Demise, who, despite also being in that platinum bracket, has been a solid player throughout this series so far, but like you mentioned, right, Bomb has just unfortunately been outclassed at the current state of the game, as we'll see it slightly going for another play on Insane. There's no flash on this Victor, so this could just be a lethal here. Q ult, slightly nice combo there, as he will secure the big QR play on a Vygar, his dream, as he picks up a nice kill here and another couple of stacks in that fight.
I just have to hope that these 5 players are best friends in real life, because there's no way that you can perform that you performed this week and go into next week saying we don't make roster changes. This is just top to bottom a complete nightmare. The only role that is safe is your AD carry. Cobras need to do something about both the physical gameplay, the mental gameplay. It's just a complete disaster.
Yeah, I definitely think potentially some arguments for Insane and Squid. Obviously, maybe not the greatest players in the league, but I definitely think that they've had okay games. Like, game 1 wasn't necessarily, like, aggressively bad from them, but like you mentioned, right, we're talking about the just coordination, and it feels like there's definitely a lack there. So whether that's for higher just needing to play more games together, or whatever the underlying problem is, we see another play here. Shen ulting in here, trying to turn the fight onto slightly. A lot of damage taken by him, but the Wukong, no problem fighting it. Flash Q gets the kill onto the Victor, and now they just can't find that track onto Khazadon. He will escape here once again after that move down to the mid lane here. Jonicus trying to shove this in. He will get caught in that Vygar cage, but shouldn't be too punishing. Does take the W damage as the Bomb will find your Throat's Demise here. They're going to try and turn this fight, it looks like, but just a small quick combo there for the Bomb there. A little bit of damage onto the Graves. Not going to mean too much there. But again, 5 kills to 1, 2k gold lead for the side of Crimson Blaze, and the only thing stopping it from being as bad as last game is the fact that they haven't taken the dragon yet.
And I called it, right? The Maokai is going the sapling build.
Yeah.
We are rewinding 3 seasons ago when that was actually decent. I just don't understand. Like, yeah, I understand you want to go a little bit damage. Your Shen is going Titanic Hydra first item, which is the right call to make, so he should be your little bit of accelerated damage. They need that beefy front line. They need someone to be able to soak the Smolder Vygar damage while everyone else pumps. Instead, we go sapling build Maokai.
And yeah, the notable problem for me is that we're playing into this AP build, right? But we brought Aftershock. I feel like we should probably be running something like maybe Storm Raiders. I feel would be a little bit more correct for the AP Maokai angle,
Sure.
even if you do go into the tank after that. But I feel like if we're going to pick Aftershock and then build into this AP build, and again, even if it is just something like Leandri's into tank, I feel like we still probably shouldn't be looking at this as our rune choice. And if we do want to play this rune, which I think is correct, I think this is the rune that Maokai should have, but like you mentioned, right, this just isn't the build path that we should be looking at.
Yeah, as tank, for sure. As tank, Aftershock, fantastic. If you're going to go sapling burn build, give me the burn rune.
Yeah.
Are they even discussing this in pregame, or is it just, hey, I trust you to make the right decision with your runes? Because
Yeah.
it's a collective conversation. When I used to play for a team and we had a coach, we went top to bottom what runes we're thinking as soon as we finished draft, just because it matters. And something as small as Aftershock is the wrong play to make here.
And yeah, we'll see Jonicus go down. I mean, right, it just doesn't feel like there's too much more to say on that. The Bomb ults up after his laner dies, maybe to try and help out, but it again just isn't going to mean much. They do get the grubs in. Again, I keep trying to look at silver linings, right? You want to be positive casting. I'm trying to, here's how they can get back into the game, right? And it is nice to get grubs. That's a fact. They're happier with grubs than without grubs, but it just really doesn't feel like it's a big consolation prize. You look back to the draft, right? And we're discussing the big problems, right? I know you mentioned earlier the 20-minute timer that it really feels like 4 higher Cobras have to win the game by. And at the pace we're on right now, it wouldn't surprise me if their Nexus is gone not much after that, right? Yeah. Vygar's up 101, Smolder's up 102. Your Taric has more kills than the entire enemy team. Like...
Yeah, I mean, the Vygar's able to one solo kill the Victor at this point.
Yeah.
The Smolder's just every second that ticks by is getting stronger and scaling. Sure, Taquito has another 20 CS lead. Congratulations, very happy for him. Doesn't mean shit. Does not mean a single thing when every other lane is hemorrhaging. Even the Shen, they got the second kill of the game because of a failed dive, and he just got soloed.
Yep.
It's just not going to get any better between now and the 20-minute mark.
And we do have Vygar going for the recall here. Looking into that Roa build, I'm going to assume he has the Roa finished based on the fact that he's backing now. Indeed, he does. Gets that just shy of the 12th minute mark, so by around 22, he'll be getting that bonus from that completed Rod of Ages. Smolder, on the other hand, still a little bit off of that first item. Down a decent bit of CS here as, again, like we mentioned, right, this bot lane is extremely good for 4 higher Cobras, right? We go back to, like, your preseason rankings. You have this as the second best ADC in the league, right? There is a nice advantage in this bot lane. They're proving it again, up 20 CS. Then you remember they lost a 3v2. Then you look at the CS and it's like, all right, but it's Smolder, right? Smolder doesn't necessarily need all the CS in the world as long as he's stacking efficiently. So there's definitely a lot of problems despite that CS gap. As we do have Maokai ult here, he will walk into the cage and then get brought under tower. We'll see if he can survive. He cannot, as he dies. And Shen, I think, yeah, Shen ulted the Victor instead of the Maokai. Maybe tried to ult the Maokai right as he died. It ended up targeting Victor, and then Khazadon just says, you know what, I'm just gonna ult you. Drops the ignite, tries to get that kill, is insane. Almost goes down to that Graves ult, gonna live with a shred of HP. And Jinx and Braum have rotated mid, and Smolder is, he's just solo. He's farming waves, he's stacking up, he's gonna get a tower at this point. I mean, this rotation feels like it can't happen. Smolder's just getting stronger and stronger, and Alice is at the point where she's just going to start taking over this game.
I don't know. These guys need a coach. I might put it in my application. Like, what is happening here? Because again, I will say it. 4 of the 5 players are not completely gapped mechanically. Okay, yeah. That is the situation for Cobras. But macro and even advanced micros is just not there if you're the Cobras, and it shows from minute 1 that the fact that they're at 13-minute mark and they're down 4K for all completely preventable mistakes showcases that they have a long way to go to be competitive in this league.
And yeah, we'll see Insane here, currently listed as the coach for the roster, holding on in this bot lane. Done about 15 CS to this Vygar, 1.1k gold built inside of that, as we now have Braum walking up 1v2. He does have his carry on the way. Q lands onto Alice, but Barg for me just going to happily come tank up all of his damage. Insane, a bit roundabout for the gank here, as he will get stunned up by the well here, as Alice a little bit more damage here. W comes back out, some more stacks. Barg for me takes a bit of damage. Q lands back onto Alice here, but the ult comes out, blocked away like that. Braum shield, called it out in draft there. A little bit of Braum value there, as it will hold on here. Nobody's going to go down.
The one
actually teleport.
One of 2 abilities he can block in the game, by the way.
Khazadon comes in here off the teleport. Victor will get caught out. I think the bomb oh, the cage gets him here. It's almost an escape for the bomb, but unfortunately, similar to the Briar, he will not be finding his way out safely. Alice continues to stack up here as Jinx trying to get some damage. Braum comes out here. Alice gonna get ulted here. Actually, that's just barrier, apologies, as the Shen is on the other team. Just the barrier comes out here from this. A Smolder Dragon spawning up as well right now, so that will be the second one taken. And I'm honestly almost curious if we can get a look at Smolder stack, because it really wouldn't surprise me if they're starting to get towards one of those key thresholds here. Maybe still a little bit too early for the 225, even despite the fighting, but definitely feels like it could be something we're maybe getting a bit close to, but not too sure. Oh, 127. It's on my screen. Yeah, I see it.
So stacking really well. He's getting to that kind of danger point. The Viger's already at that danger point, one item in, and he's just, able to press R and something gets deleted. Despite all the beef that they have, right? Well, I can't say all the beef anymore because Maokai went a full AP build, so he gets destroyed in one ability from almost anybody. The Braum and the Jinx, I feel like, are doing everything they can to stave off a 15-minute loss. But other than that, I don't know what we're doing. We're Shen ulting a random fight mid lane. If not ulting the wrong person, we got to be playing for a big 5v5 dragon team fight or 4v4 and then Shen ulting. That is how we should be using this champion. Not for random skirmishes in mid lane 2 minutes before an objective.
And I mean, yeah, right. I mean, I hate to keep going back to the same spot, but the bombs, runes, they just don't match the build, right? He's building like he's playing an AP build, but the runes just aren't aligned with it, right? He has red jungle pet. He has the burn item on that Leandri's for the open here, and he has the cloth armor. So obviously the expectation is now he's going to be looking into that tankier path from here. Maybe going to go into, my first guess would be just Unending Despair next item, but obviously we'll wait and see if that is confirmed to be the case. But regardless here, 17 minutes in, it's a 6.5k gold lead for Crimson Blaze, is slightly trying to chase the Victor down to make it a little bit better here. It's going to be the taunt coming through. Graves could actually be in danger here, should go down for throats, and the bounty is taken by the Maokai. Not that it matters much more on Shen, but I suppose, you know what, it's better they get the kill than they don't get the kill. Only a 5.6k lead here. Big play here is slightly in a 1v4, a 1v5, surely is going to die as Jinx gets the kill. That's the best possible person to get the kill on, so while maybe the Graves didn't go to the ideal person, it doesn't matter. They get some money for Muichiro here, and the game is slightly better as Kazanon takes 3 plates top lane.
That's 2 shutdowns, made their way over to Cobra's, and now they're only down 5k. Huge.
Because like Chris Paul hits the huge 3 to cut the lead down to, I think, 42 it was.
Exactly.
Here gonna get taunted up, and he goes down as Shen gets a huge kill to cut the lead down to 4.4 thousand gold. A spark for me running away. Will he burn down is the question. It looks like the answer is gonna opt toward no. Almost grabbed by that zap, but the Q comes back. He'll heal back up to not 0, as we'll see the teleport comes behind. That's Vigar going aggro here. Has Alice on the way as well. Squid gonna get caught inside the cage. W comes out, full combo in. Squid will survive it. Your Throat's Demise takes the kill onto the Jinx. Squid trying to run away as Jonicus. That was the teleport coming out here as Graves finds it from downtown. A little bit more gold. Double kill for him. Another stack of the Hubris as slightly looking for some more stacks. Not going to find the poke onto Jonicus for that extra AP, but I don't think they matter. 5.3k gold, the new deficit. 2 dragons to 0. And again, it does not feel like a real game state at this point. Almost a 3k deficit in mid lane. Second item completed for the Vigar, whereas Victor doesn't have his tier 2 component towards second item yet.
I mean, hey, they got 1 more kill than they had last game, so baby steps.
Wow, that's true.
Game 15 of this series, we might have a decently tight game, but for now, it is a complete blowout. Viger continuously stacks. Every single minion he gets stronger. Smolder is getting nearer his break point. He's at 182. And look at that. Cobras are engaging and now they're running. That is just the story of their game.
As actually the turn here is not bad. Jinx is doing a lot of damage here, but they need a kill. They need a reset on Muichiro and he can take this fight over, but they can't kill. They need to kill someone. Kill someone for the Jinx, please. Reset comes through right as Jinx's HP bar runs through. The Victor, apologies, trying to get back into it. Insane is just face checking it, and they're gonna find the kill. Shen gets the triple kill, and Jonicus is chasing it for the Jin 4 here. We'll see if he can find it. Alice flashes through. She'll pick up the kill on Victor. Shen finds it, quadra kill on Smolder, and he's recalling. He's gonna take this fight and get flattened.
Is there any way to see someone's piggy bank? Because he must have got like 3k gold in that fight alone. He got 4 shutdowns.
They're actually running for it. I don't think Kazanon had to flash that, but he says, I'm going to it. I ain't getting pented. he gonna get the hell out of there. So Wukong, we'll head back, take a quick recall, and look at Shen. Is this a real item that this character builds? I don't know. Do you?
The Shen... Oh, God, don't tell me he went Duskin. Okay. I don't love it. The Titanic
Is this
Hydra
real?
was the Titanic Hydra was the play just to be able to keep up with the wave clear of the Wukong. But then I don't love that second item. I think you go pure tank from there, especially after the Maokai decided to go burn build. Yeah, I think if Inzane's the coach, they need to have a long conversation after this game about builds, rune choices, game plan execution. Something's got to give.
And yeah, interestingly, this is actually a 55.5% win rate Shen build in Emerald Plus, but unfortunately, it's not necessarily quite there in that solo queue world, but we'll see regardless. Third Dragon coming up here, CVE trying to just burn it down, stun comes out, and it will be secured. Taking it by the Grave Smite here is... There goes Maokai to the Graze ult. He is dead. And I think that 5 seconds of the game right there tells you everything you need to know about this whole series. As we'll see 16 kills to 8 at the moment here. We'll try and get a little bit back into it here. But a nice cage going to get a double stun. Kazanon just jumping in. He's going to get 5 knockups with his 2 ult casts. As the side of Smolder at 232 stacks just barely passes the threshold. And will be able to find 2 kills. Only technically gets the credit on 1. But... nice pressure regardless here. Mid-tier 2 is gone in the hole as we get T1 emotes thrown up by the dead Jinx here, as we'll have the inhib tower getting burned at. Your Throat's demise actually gets executed here. Oh man, the towers almost have more kills than the game 1 for higher Cobras, as we'll get Kazanon on the teleport here. I believe they're looking for this inhib tower. We'll see if they want to break the inhib. Obviously you risk giving over a lot of gold, but would open up the window for things like the Baron, but they will decide not to risk it. They're just going to take their tower, walk away happy. They got a lot of camps to go clear, a lot of vision to go set up, a lot of things to go by, so we'll just get the quick recalls coming out here. Some clears going to come surely for this Wukong, as we'll see how much money Smolder has. Wouldn't surprise me. They do have their third item here, Essence Reaver, Cleaver, and the Rapid Fire alongside the boots here. Vigar getting close to done with that staff at almost 250 stacks.
So, I mean, I'm glad that this is a redemption game for Jonicus after that horrid showing as Jax into the Renekton, but that last fight, Vigar put his cage down right outside the Dragon Pit. Maokai took a step back, deservedly so, and then he walked into the cage. So if we're going to do that, let's not play this game any longer. Let's just FF, go on to the next week, because it is hurting my eyes at this point of what I'm watching come out of the Cobra side.
And yeah, definitely some rough parts here, as we'll wait and see for the moment here if there can be anything to happen again, right? You have a Jinx, right? You have a Jinx, you have a Shen, and then you have a couple of people who can take damage for you. Victor W can still crowd, he can still stun people, that's true, as we'll see Alice here get slowed for the moment. Doesn't look like, though, they do get the flash auto stun comes through. Smolder just gonna try and commit to this trade on the Jinx. Shen'll comes through here, the HP on Alice, not gonna get that Terra goal, maybe a little bit if it was casted a little bit earlier, but regardless, we still get the ADC trade. Double stun comes out on the Tark here, trying to hold on. Your Throat's demise taking a lot of damage here, Braum jumping in as well, but Bark for me taunted up here, taking all this damage for the team here, trying to back away with the stun. Maokai, though, gonna get the grab here. Bomb Core finally gonna find some nice value here, is Inzane gonna get the kill on this one. Throat's demise just gonna try and clear out the grubs, then clear out the wave to make sure this tower doesn't go down at the very least, but I don't think that the mid lane is the biggest concern right now for higher Cobras. Look at their side lanes. They're both getting pushed in. Inhib is open now for that top lane, and Vigar should be able to take this tier 2 towers. Looks like he's going to prefer to take a recall before danger reaches him, but it's down to, at the very least, 1 plate in the bot lane, whereas you look at the tower category for higher Cobras, and there aren't any. Their towers have gotten more kills than they've taken towers. Is definitely a bit of a rough spot.
Yeah, I mean, the Cobras are fighting for their lives in a 5v3 in mid lane. Meanwhile, the side lanes are just continuously getting pushed in. Luckily, they didn't lose a whole lot. The Wukong wasn't able to get to the inhib, and Vigar only took 4 of the 5 plates in bot lane. So, wasn't terrible situation if you're the Cobras. You got to shut down on your Jinx as well. If anything, you do have a gold advantage in one lane. The Shen has a 1k gold lead. But beyond that, it's not the time to be looking for another fight.
Goodbye, Braum. I think Braum, I know they're going to get the Maokai ult coming out here. They'll be able to peel backwards. If you put the last minute in a vacuum, Maokai has looked like a human, as we'll have to wait and see if that will continue through the rest of this game. 9k gold lead still for Crimson Blaze, so I don't think that hands are going to help too much at the current state, as Bomb I think he's fine. No, he's not fine. That's a lot of damage. Has to flash out, but no, oh, that feels bad. I don't know. Even once you're in that Vigar cage, I'm not too sure what more you can do. I guess you just have to flash out early, but he will get chunked down and taken out here. Unfortunate go as Bomb finally warms him up for the first time in the series. As we'll see Kaza shove another wave in top. Shen will be there to get it. Jinx in the lurk in case of more action. And in his current project, Vigar finally finishes that bot lane tier 2, while the rest of the team is going to look at Baron. They don't have to pick, do we help our Victor who cannot win this 1v1, or do we go play the Baron Nashor? And Inzane is dead. Yep.
And we flash after Vigar presses the R button. What are we doing here?
Yeah, that did happen.
Like, all right, we already walked up too far to get hit by a Vigar cage. Cool, take the L. But nope, we're gonna hope to stay alive by pressing my flash button and dying anyway.
Yeah. This is, yeah, I mean, again, right, I think back to last week, I'm not sure if you caught the games between the Firing Squad and the Shadow Nexus, but they felt the same, right? It just felt like there was not a second team who could win, with the note that those games did end quicker. The very least, the 4HC are surviving this game, but when you look at the draft and you see they're playing Vigar Smolder, it's like, they weren't planning on ending early, but at the very least, they're going to make it to that 27th minute mark. I almost said 30th, being like, they can survive a few minutes, but with Baron, with Soul, it's very possible that they just walk mid and end the game right now. So I'm not gonna try and put too much betting chips on another 3 minutes game time, but we'll have to wait and see here. Slightly gonna try and hold on. W comes down here, looking for some more damage here. Again, ult back up here. So if anybody gets hit by a stun and they aren't a tank and they don't get protected by something like that Bronze Shield, they are going to die. So definitely a little bit careful here. If the Jinx, for example, gets caught by some skill shots here, that's just game. As Bomb throws the Maokai ult just to, I believe, help clear wave, I suppose, as the Cage and Smolder ult will come out to zone. Wukong going to work on clearing that top wave down so they can try and get the double inhib, but you know what, this is fair so far. They've done an okay job just trying to clear out these waves. Baron waves are very difficult to clear, and they're doing an okay job of it as the engage comes in here. It's going to be Jonagas looking in, Taunt comes in, Vigar goes down early, Terraco coming in as well, trying to get Grave safety, but no, it's going to be the 2 for 0 to start here. Bartholomew taking a lot of damage here, as it will be the Smolder cutting backwards. Alice, she's still full HP though, a lot of danger here. Wukong comes in, and can the two of them 2v5 here? Shen ult comes out, Alice going to get the double kill, looking at the Braum now, should be a triple here after the Q, won't go for it, goes W instead here. Squid dies to wave, actually, that's insane. He dies to wave and ignite. Kill for the Wukong top lane here. 4, 2, and 5 now for the side of Kazanon here. Mid inhib gone, top inhib gone. 3 players dead for another half a minute here. It's Victor and it's Shen to try and hold on the game. And considering you can't kill the 2 in a 2v5, I'm not sure what you're going to do in a 2v2. Taunt comes out, that's 1, that's 2. Alice going to get almost 1 shot here. Jonagas gets the kill here. Inzane 1 HP. Kazanon doesn't have a big set of movement left. No flash right now. Inhibitor Nexus Tower 1 will go down, but the Shen able to force Wukong off here, and I don't really know how we're better off in a 2v2 than a 5v2, but you know what? Fair play to the side of Cobras. They're gonna hold on for now, and they will survive a little bit longer here. Baron gonna run out in about 10 seconds, and it's actually a positive Baron play for the side of 4HC. They actually make more gold than the side of CBE, so fair play to them here. They're able to hold on for a bit longer. Again, I'm not sure that that stat truly means much considering the state of the game. You have a 300 stack Vigar who has 4 items. You have a couple hundred stacks on the Smolder who has 4 items, 4.5 items really. It's not getting better for the side of 4HC, truthfully, but at the very least, they win a fight and hold on for a few more minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm watching here. I mean, the Vigar is so bloodthirsty, he's running Shirelias, and now he's just getting caught out, but fortunately his team is here. Actually, no,
he might not be.
Yeah, no, the Jinx is here, and the Jinx is strong,
They're all
actually.
Dead. They're all dead, actually. Jinx surely just gets walked out. As the stun comes out from them, they're able to slow it down here. This is really nicely done, actually. Smolder coming back in here. Double kill for the Jinx. Reset comes in, but it's going to be the flash taunt here. Shenol comes out here to try and hold on. They're just trying to keep this Jinx alive. They know it's the one condition they have, but so much damage from that Smolder W. Jinx flashes over the wall. Nice kiting job here. Throws to Demise. Going to go down the reset. Triple kill on it. for the Jinx, a double kill and a triple kill, and the fight is turned around. 6k gold. They might lose their Nexus for it, or at least the tower guarding it, but it is a indirect, unconnected pentakill here for the side of Muichiro Taketo, as they will lose the Nexus tower, but they do get Jinx up to 4.5, almost 5 items, and again, it may get back to the same parity problem where you're not actually ahead, you just have one player who's not behind, but definitely starting to be a little bit less bad here for the 4HC.
Honestly, if I'm BLZE, I'm in voice comm saying, yo, Slightly, stop trolling, bro. Like, the Shirelia's build was troll, now he's getting caught out to start all of these engages, which is actually getting Cobra kind of back into this game. Now, here's the bad. Jinx used his flash. He is everything to this team, and if they can get on him and he gets deleted early, it's game over. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But he's got barrier. If they can survive long enough and you know, don't fight for another 4 minutes, he's almost at 6 items. This is a strong Jinx at this stage. So 2 champions have gold advantages if you're Cobras. If they can get into favorable situation. Oh no, he's getting caught out again. What the?
Oh, Shen missed the dash, and now he's dead for it. That
Alright,
could have been a kill on Vigar, but instead the miss by Jonica is slightly able to sidestep it. Terracoal coming out here. It's not going to save Kazanon. It will give the 4 immunity, though. This ult from Victor, not going to get much more. Trying to work on this bot tier 3. They don't have a wave, though, as again, they don't have a Baron anymore. It will be the ult coming out here. Slightly going to take a little bit of damage here from that Jinx rocket. Bloodthirster close to online here for the Jinx. 767 on the KDA here. Elder, though, up in a minute. Kazanon 100% alive for that. Shen is as well, though. It will be 5v5, but the big problem, the big purple worm in that top river coming up notably before, and I think that 4HC need their Shen a little bit more than Kazanon is needed here, but the one benefit is that Jonikis does have that teleport. Wukong has no similar ability available, so really nothing to do to get to this fight, but it's not going to be a fight if there's a long wait here. 4HC just going to give away this Baron, it looks like, is maybe going to try and set up for this Elder in 25 seconds. I'm not too sure what the call is, because I feel like they can't start it.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, actually almost everyone's at 3 or 4 items at this point, if not working on their 5th, which is great to see. It's getting kind of a little bit more even in the gold advantage. Now it's only a 6k gold lead. Definitely not super crazy. If they can get their pick, if they can control the vision game, Cobras have a shot. As bad as that Shen miss was on that E,
yeah,
they have a shot here. They're death brushing. They're death brushing.
Oh. Yeah, as we'll see here, Kazanon just gonna walk in here. He should die. Maokai ult comes out here. A lot of damage coming on to him. He will be able to flash back to safety. Terra gonna heal him back up a little bit here. Smolder trying to farm out a little bit. Bark for me just walking in. Squig gonna almost get one tap here as your throats almost goes down. Jinx reset here. Jinx reset is online here. Look at the base though. If they can get back to safety, Slightly can teleport out and try and end the game, but
Smolder's
it is
dead.
gonna be Jonas taking some damage here. It will be Smolder going down. Kazanon trying to back away as well, Slightly as well. Again, if this Vigar can get to safety, we can backdoor this game right now, but look at Kazanon. He's just running at the base. He's going for the end. Jinx is trying to reset here as Wukong sprinting down the mid lane. He has a wave if he needs it. Slightly holding on. They're trying to stop the recalls right now. It's going to be another attempt here for the Victor. Bark for me. They're just fighting forward here. They have to stall for this recall, but Victor isn't the player you need getting home here. Slightly goes down. Kazanon, though, can we end the game? Teleport comes out from Shen here. Victor's going to be in base as well, and Kazanon turning tail here. He doesn't think he can take it. I don't disagree with him, but it is going to be the escape. Victor now, after recalling, is actually going to teleport out to the Elder.
Is that
here.
Elder?
Yeah, it should be Elder secured here. Bomb Core gonna spawn as well, so I think they stalled just long enough for Maokai to get the buff. Probably doesn't matter too much if they didn't. Obviously, a tiny misplay if they didn't wait that extra second or two for his spawn, but regardless, the fight win comes through for 4HC. They get some more gold in their pocket. They have that Elder buff online now for all of their DPS carries. The only people who don't have it are Braum and maybe Maokai, and this game is looking a lot more playable. They're missing Soul. They're down 4k gold, but at this point, some of those things start mattering a little bit less, right? You have Elder for 2 minutes. You need to do something with it.
Yeah, I need to see build paths at this point. So the Jinx should be finishing his 5th item here. Bloodthirster's great. Get me a GA, because you never know what's going to pop you out of nowhere, or just something to keep you alive, whether it's a QSS, GA, something to help you out there. Smolder's already got the GA. So now, the last few fights, the reason they went so well is because the Shen was able to get on him. That's not going to happen this time around. Viger completed this death cap, he's gonna one-shot something. So it is ever more important to not play for these kind of 5v5 in the middle of the lane fights. Play around your visions, play around your saplings. That is how you win if you're Cobras right now.
And yeah, we'll have to hold on here, as we'll see for the moment. For the side of CBE, we have obviously talked about what you think 4HC need to do to try and get back into this game. For CBE, you're looking into Elder right now. What do you think they need to do to try and get this game back under control?
Stop trolling. Like, the Viger has just been trolling this entire game long, and he might get caught out here as well.
Yeah, get that reset off the tower. Dad that slightly finds the kill on Braum, but Jinx gets the reset here. And look at Mushi. Bro gets the equalizer Q here. Gonna be looking at Barfremy now. Barfremy's dead. Triple kill for the Jinx here. Could try and chase more if they want it right now. Just work the Smolder. Have this Shen tank as Jonicus gonna try and hold on here. Alice gonna take some serious damage here. Wukong recalling right now. Is it Willoughby, both Jonicus and Insane pretty low right now, but inside of Alice can't really fight it too much here. W comes out. One auto. You have to flash away. It's a good call for Alice here. If you don't, you probably die and then just get your GA farmed out. So again, it's very, very, very dangerous here, as we'll see Alice and Khazad, the two left alive here. But the big problem right now is in the top left of your screen, that 6-second timer. Elder is gone, and while they don't need it to win a fight, it certainly gave them a lot of pressure. They did get a tower, they did get some kills, they did get some pressure off of it. I think that Elder was generally good. Would have liked to see more in a perfect world, but obviously it's not necessarily something you can just hard guarantee every single time. So we'll have to see it for the moment here, as we try and hold on for the moment. Guardian Angel on a line for the Jinx, like you called. I think definitely the correct decision, right? I don't think there's any world that it's not. Maybe one of the other items like you mentioned, but definitely not surprised to see the GA come online. And again, gold is starting to not matter, right? Look at some of our players. Look at Vigar, right? He's completed, he's done with his build. There's nothing more he can do other than replace an item or buy elixirs. Smolder is at about that same point, right? Your Jinx is obviously done, but there's still some item room that can be built for the majority of the 4HC players, right? Shen has no more room to go, but the rest of the players here still have some room to get stronger. And with that said, the same is still true about some of these players. For CBE, top jungle, bot, all have some more notable strength to get, but we'll have to wait and see. Especially, what do you think of this last Smolder item is? Is this just like a collector, or are we going true lethality?
I think it has to be collector. I think you just try to go for that full execute, just, you know, hopefully get lucky, get someone, because there's been so many kills that within, you know, a nose hair of death. Where that collector, I think, might have made the difference. So I don't hate it, but beyond that, you know, they're kind of scattered right now. I like that the Victor's grouping now. It's all about the Jinx. It's do everything to keep the Jinx alive. That means that the Maokai should not be diving, the Shen should not be diving. Everything is to keep the Jinx alive. Let them overstep. Let them make the mistake.
And
done it the last 4 fights.
Yeah. And again, I think one of the things 4HC have to keep doing, they've done a great job finding an early kill, right? The Jinx has to get the reset. You have to activate that Get Excited passive on Jinx. Obviously, Jinx is going to be doing a lot of work to activate it for themselves, but you have to have that ability active in the bulk of the fight, or the Jinx damage is just so much lower than it could be. Again, I think one of the key players they've been looking for in all of these fights, aside from Khazad, who is trying to entry but is going a bit tankier at this point, is your Throat's demise. You have to stay alive on this Graves. He's been one of those early outs that are giving those early resets here on the side of CBE. Squid gonna get caught by the cage here, holding on a lot of tankiness. Maokai ult comes in here. Jinx gonna be in the area as well. Smolder ult coming down here, trying to get ready for the fight for the moment. Wukong walking bot lane at the moment, does have that the top lane quest teleport available, so can get to the fight. Whatever, and Squid stunned up, and the Vigar just has the damage to one tap him here. Absurdly lethal damage here. That is not a slight amount. Slightly flashing in, trying to get the catch onto Insane. Just gonna trade the flash here. Is now 5v4. Enemy team is missing a take. Khazad, flash ult comes in. Look at the Jinx here. You have to keep an eye on them. Terracoal coming out as well. You need to get it down. Khazad gonna be able to stay alive for the moment, but that Terracoal ending soon. Channel comes out here. Jinx is gonna get the no, they don't get the reset onto Khazad. Shen just goes down here, trying to ult onto Jinx to keep them alive a little bit longer. There goes Maokai, and all of that hard work surely at this point should end for nothing here. Bark for me flashes to stay alive, does go down, but I don't think Jinx gets the reset off of that. Victor goes down. It's 1v4 now for Muichiro Taketo. Undeniably the MVP of the game. The players are low. Vigar Cage comes out, but it's not going to help Muichiro here. But the wave is gone. There's nothing in the mid lane right now. Look at the spawn timers. 4 seconds on Braum. Not going to be the most impactful, but it's something to tank a little bit for you. Smolder ult comes out. Squid back in the front line here. Vigar gonna combo him, but the Nexus, you're gonna lose your Nexus here if you aren't careful. Muichiro has to go now. Need to kill Kazan right now. Gets the kill. As can be the next target. The damage on the Nexus is just too much here. Alice has so much trying to do, literally trying to lift the world. 1v5 as his team slowly gets battered down, and at the end of it, it started to look a little bit scary for CBE, but they end up coming through here. 82.9k to 78.2k, 36 kills to 29. And CBE complete the 2-kill sweep, or the 2-game sweep.
See, that's what I'm saying. Muichiro just needs one other human to make these games possible. Jonicus, stepped up from his game 1 performance. Was that extra human with the brain cell? And look at the chance they had. That was a winnable game for once if you're the Cobras. But then, of course, the jungle build, he just essentially was a CC bot.
Yep.
Braum, had that critical overstep. Zane struggled early, got solo killed a few times, but bounced back towards the end to deal some serious damage. BLZE trolled 3 or 4 fights in a row.
Absolutely.
Let's not put the blame completely not on them, but they played the early game well enough. They scaled, they got to their win conditions. But hats off to Taketo. Both games was the only reason they had a modicum of chance. Just wasn't enough.
And yeah, again, like you mentioned, right? Obviously, some props still, even on this defeated side. Like you mentioned, Jonicus definitely had a great game 2 compared to game 1, right? Some good moments from him. Had a nice early game against the player who truthfully walked through him game 1, but was able to get back into it. Played a cleaner game 2. Obviously, still some rough spots here or there, but it is what it is, right? You're playing against a team that is just better than you, right? Again, I think there were definitely some good moments for him. Obviously, Muichiro showcasing why he is potentially one of the ADCs that should be feared, potentially, like you mentioned, just not necessarily on that full roster. Maybe some changes incoming for them week 4, maybe not. That'll have to be on their calls, but I'm not too sure what else there, right? I think Zane had some okay moments, right, on that Victor. Obviously, it got to a point against the Vigar where it's like, he just can't play into him, right? And obviously some of that goes back on him, but later in the game when he dies in the 1v1, aside from shouldn't be there, can't necessarily harp on it too much here, but definitely still at the end of the day, nicely done for Crimson BLZE. They go up 2-0 and they will join that group 2-1 now on the season series scoreline. So nice to them moving up a little bit on the standings here at the end of week 3.
Absolutely. And I mean, if we still have time, are we still trying to do that interview?
I'm not sure. Do we have anybody interested, I suppose, is the better question here from the Crimson side. I'm not sure if we have an efficient way to find out.
I think I can move people. Let me see if I can just grab
just kidnap someone. Why not?
How do I move this guy all the way? I can't move him all the way to our call. Let's see.
I don't have terms. I can't.
Move to, where are we? Are we in
We're in
FS
FS Cast, yes.
All right. Did that work?
It's not. Is it cooked?
We'll see. Give me a sec here. It might be cooked, chat.
Yeah, it'll be cooked. We'll try and get that fixed up next week. Maybe be able to give a quick chat with somebody afterwards. Apologies for the small debate there. Regardless, everybody, thank you for joining us here for week 3 of the FillyB's Grand Prix. I've been Colonel, that's been Xana, and that has been Crimson BLZE Esports taking a pretty clean 2-0 over the side of 4 Higher Cobras. Unfortunately, can't kidnap someone to ask them about the win, but I feel like realistically we could already imagine some of the answers, right? Yeah, we had a pretty clean game 1, had a good start to game 2, then we kind of griefed it, then we kind of ungriefed it with some griefs from the other team. So just a lot of griefing back and forth, but at the end, Crimson BLZE don't grief their win rate as they spike up 2-0 in the week. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. I've been Colonel, that's been Xana. We've been here with Last Raven on the prod. Appreciate you all for joining, and we'll see you again week 4 of FillyB's Grand Prix.
Blinding lights, lost in your eyes, feeling the pressure. pressure. You and I spending the night chasing forever.